folks, we're going to look again at multiplying out two brackets. I'll go through some examples with you and then you'll get a chance to practice some on your own. So, first one we're going to go through is 2c plus 3 times c plus 5. Now, when we're multiplying out two brackets, the method that I showed you before was to make a little multiplication table. So the first bracket is going to go across the top here. The second bracket is going to go down the side here. So we're going to put 2c and 3 there, and we're going to put c and 5 there. Now, everything's positive at the moment, so we don't need to worry about any minus signs. Okay, so we're going to multiply this term and this term together to get what goes in here. Okay, so we're going to do 2c times c, and that's going to give us 2c squared. Now, don't forget the squared. Okay, c times c, c squared. The next box we're going to fill in is this one here. So that will give us 3 times c, so that's just 3c. The next box is this one. So we've got 2c times 5, or 5 times 2c. Remember, when you're multiplying, the order doesn't matter. So we've got 2c times 5, or 5 times 2c is 10c. And then the last box here is just 3 times 5, so we've got 15. We can see we've got 4 terms here. So we're going to look and see which two can go together. And we can see that it's these two terms, they're both c's. Okay, so we can't combine the c squareds with the c's, or the plain numbers with the c's, but we can combine the c's with each other. So we're going to do that. So altogether, we've got 2c squared, then we've got 3c and 10c, so we've got plus 13c, and we've also got 15 there, so plus 15 on the end, and that's our answer. Okay, next one. Again, set out our little multiplication square. This first bracket is going to go across the top, so that's 6z, and we've got to be really careful, that's a minus 1. Then the second bracket is going to go down the side, so we've got 2z and a positive 1. So if things are positive, we don't need to put a plus in front of them, we know they're positive. Okay, so by the way, I do my z's with a little line across to stop them looking like 2's. Okay, so we're going to fill in this one first. So 6z times 2z. If you deal with the numbers and letters separately, it's a bit easier. So 6 times 2 is 12, and z times z is z squared. Okay, this box here, we've got negative 1 times 2z. So first of all, ignore the negative. So 1 times 2z is 2z. And then we look at what we're multiplying together. We've got a negative and a positive. The signs don't match, so that gives us a negative answer. The next one to fill in here is 6z times 1, so that's a nice easy 6z. And then the last space here is negative 1 times 1. So 1 times 1 is 1, and a negative times a positive. The signs don't match, so that's negative 1. So again, we can put these two terms together, and that will give us an answer of 12z squared, and then we've got minus 2z add 6z, or 6z minus 2z. Whichever way we look at that, we've got a positive 4z, and then we've got our minus 1 on the end. So the answer to that one is 12z squared plus 4z minus 1. Okay, next one. I'm just giving you a mixture of signs to look at here. Okay, so again, multiplication square, first bracket across the top, second bracket down the side, and we're going to be careful with our signs. So, first box, 3d times 5d. So 3 times 5 is 15, d times d is d squared. In this box, we've got 2 times 5d, so we've got 10d. In this box, we've got 3d times negative 2. So 3d times 2 would be 6d. And we've got a positive times a negative. The signs don't match, so that's going to be a negative answer. And then the last space to fill in is 2 times negative 2. So it would be 4 for the number, and then if we check, we've got a positive times a negative. Signs don't match, so it's negative. So again, these two terms are going to go together when we're writing down our answer. So we've got 15d squared. We've got a positive 10d and a negative 6d. So that gives us plus 4d altogether. And then we've got a minus 4 on the end. So the answer to that one is 15d squared plus 4d minus 4. Right, we're going to have a look at another one now. This one has got negatives in both brackets. So we've got 4f and negative 5 and f and negative 2. Okay, I'm deliberately writing these far apart so that you're not tempted to subtract. Okay, because all of the things that go in these spaces are results of multiplying things together. Okay, I don't want you thinking that you're taking away 5 or taking away 2. Okay, so first space then, we've got 4f times f. So that gives us 4f squared. In this space, we've got negative 5 times f. So 5 times f is 5f. And we've got a negative times a positive. Signs don't match, so it's negative. In this space here, we've got 4f times negative 2. So 4f times 2 would be 8f. And a positive times a negative, signs don't match, so it's negative. And then the last space here, we've got negative 5 times negative 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. And then we've got a negative times a negative. Now those signs do match, so that means that answer's positive, so we don't need to put anything in front of that. Okay, when we look at combining these two terms, so collecting like terms, that'll take us to our answer. So we've got 4f squared to start with. Then we've got a minus 5f and a minus 8f. So altogether, we've got minus 13f. And we've got a positive 10 on the end. Okay. Next one. This one also has 2 negatives in it, just for a bit of practice. So we've got 7h minus 3, 2h minus 1. So in this space here, we've got 7h times 2h, so that's 14h squared. The more you go through these, the more readily the answers will come. You'll speed up as you practice. Okay, the space here is negative 3 times 2h, so 3 times 2h is 6h, and we've got positive times a negative. The signs don't match, so it's negative. In this space, we're doing 7h times negative 1. So 7h times 1 is 7h. Positive times a negative, signs don't match. And then the last one, we've got negative 3 times negative 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And a negative times a negative, those signs do match. So it's a positive answer. So we don't put a negative in front of that 3 because it's not negative. Then we're going to combine these two terms as we write down our answer. So we get 14h squared minus, now have a look here, we've got minus 6h and minus 7h. So we've got negative 6h and negative 7h. So altogether we've got negative 13h. And then we've got a plus 3 on the end. And then the last one that we're going to do is a plus and a minus in the brackets this time. So we've got 4m plus 1 and 3m and a minus 2. So just going through this one really quickly. 4m times 3m, 12m squared. 1 times 3m is 3m. 4m times negative 2 is negative 8m. And 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. So altogether, we've got 12m squared minus 5m minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to issue some questions on Class Dojo for you to practice. See you later.